and welcome back to another episode of the Royal Reset Podcast. Oh my gosh, how are you doing, Your Majesty? We made it. First full week of the year. Yes, we did it. Pats for us. Pats for us. Snaps, snaps, taps, taps. Yes! How are you feeling today, Your Majesty? You're looking good, gorgeous, fabulous. Tell me everything. How are you, Queen? That is so good to hear. That is so good to hear. Again, you look great. I am so glad you were able to hang out today. Go ahead and prop me up in your kitchen, in your living room, your laundry room, wherever it is that you prepare and do your chores for the new week ahead. And let's talk, Your Majesty. Let's talk. I am doing great. Thank you so much for asking. I'm feeling good, looking even better. Um, you know, I hate to say it, but when you work out and when you drink water and when you eat 3 meals and 2 snacks every single day with some vitamins, like, you start to feel real good and stuff about yourself and about your decisions in life. And it's annoying, but it's the truth. So, I'm feeling good. I'm so happy again that we are here today. Please tell me, how was your week, Your Majesty? Last week you told me about the goals you had, the things you wanted to do for the week. Tell me, Your Majesty, were there any setbacks, any roadblocks, any negative Nancy's all up in your business? Girl, drop the tea. I'm so glad. I am so glad. See, I knew you could do it. There's absolutely nothing on this earth that you can't do. If you desire it and if you put your mind to it, it's already yours, Your Majesty. Bravo, Queen. Did that. You did that. Okay, as far as myself, my goals were to restart 75 Hard. Check. To get back to work and with a smile on my face. Check. To start my series, my 30-day series on how to reach your goals like a queen. Check. Read 4 books. Remember how last week I told y'all I was about to finish that second book? Girl, I haven't even looked at that book in a week. Child, waking up at 2 a.m. again to work out while everybody is sleeping is boss bitch energy, but also at the same time, I'm tired. I'm tired. So I have not had much time to read, unfortunately, but I have good high hopes for the week ahead. Because once again, I don't know why I was so stressed about going back to work. Because now that I don't have all these events for the end of the year and holidays to plan, I ain't got shit to do. But my normal. And right now, I'm coasting. It's pretty easy peasy, So I was chilling for most of the week, just working on my goals. I put in my application for my passport. Was looking up how to get a Costco membership because that's needed for some of my goals this year. And then I started looking into what are the best travel credit cards. Ooh, yeah. Working on my goals. Yeah, so it was a good week. It was a great week. Alrighty, so let us discuss what has been entertaining me this week. And it is this queen. I don't even know her name. I'm going to have to put her name in the info section below because she deserves all her credit. It's a queen on TikTok who got on TikTok and she asked the question, what if they close down the grocery stores and we have to hunt for our own food? I don't know where little Debbie lives. Does she live, on the same lane, Drury Lane, like that other guy? Does she live, in the woods with them twins, Hansel and Gretel? Like, what is it about, right? Funny, hilarious. And the fact that she was like literally crying while she was asking this question, chef's kiss, right? But we all know that the major reason we keep coming back to TikTok is because of the comment section. Excuse me, sorry, because of the comment section. And the comments did not disappoint. Somebody was like, how am I supposed to find the ranch when it's hidden when it's in a valley that's hidden? What part of the pork am I supposed to chop? And then I don't know how I got into the conversation, but somebody was like, because my real name is Jasmine. Somebody was like, and where is Jasmine at? Because I'm going to need some rice. Which trees have the fruits with the loops? Which ship is Captain and his crunch on? I saw somebody say that Ben and Jerry's separated. So like, who got custody of the ice cream? Which hut is the pizza in? And I would like to know, me specifically, which mountain do I have to climb to get the dew? Okay? I've just been cracking up all week. Oh my gosh. And seeing people's reactions to all the comments, it's just been, I gotta twist my own teeth. Like, which apples have Snapple? Like, it's so funny. And I just love how we can take something and just run with it on TikTok. So yeah, that is what has been entertaining me this week. I'm going to put the information down below, or if you just put Little Debbie in the search bar, I'm pretty sure you'll find it in all of the videos surrounding. Let's talk about this week's 4B Queen of the Week. All right. Drum roll, please. We are looking at none other than Queen Christy Sarah. Oh my gosh, Christy. Oh my gosh, Christy. Not only am I heartbroken for you, Queen, I'm annoyed for you, and I am also so damn, I don't want to say proud. Proud is not the right word because you don't know me and I don't know you. I am just so in awe of the strength and the courage that it has taken for you to choose you. Because for the longest time, your account was a family account. And I'm so glad that you made the decision to make it your personal. Oh, thank God that was in place. And I mean, I'm sure you all had so many brand deals, et cetera, with you all together on it. And I know how much of a sacrifice financially, and maybe even a hit, in your contracts, and maybe even, unfortunately, your public image, this decision has made. More importantly, I know how much of a heartbreak this could be for just you and the future you saw for your family and the future you saw for your children. And so I want to commend you, Christy Sarah. And Queen, if you don't know who Christy Sarah is, she is the most hilarious TikToker. And she has 2 little gremlins, and she had a husband, Desmond, and she would just create these outlandish, for the plot videos that always put a smile on your face. while also looking gorgeous doing it, and low-key annoying us, but like, it's Christy, so like, we love her and we are going to continue to follow and watch her, you know? And unfortunately, TMZ all up in everybody's business. Like, how did it reach the TikTok community, the influencer community? How? I don't know, but TMZ let it slip on Thursday or Friday, one of those days, that she did in fact file for divorce due to infidelity. And the infidelity, unfortunately, yesterday was confirmed was not on her part. So, Christy, thank you so much for, sounds weird, for just choosing yourself. I know there are a lot of women out here who are trying to make that tough decision. And the fact that you did it in such a compromising and public situation is going to give them the strength to do it too. That's not something that you are focused on right now. And I understand that you are focused on you and your family. And I completely get that. Take the time that you need, Your Majesty. I just want you to know that we are rooting for you. We want you in the custody case. And I'm still here. The entire 4B Queen Queendom will be supporting you 10 toes down. So thank you, Christy Sarah. Thank you, Queen Christy. We are here. We are with you. Take all the time you need, Your Majesty. But while we are on that subject, it kind of low-key helps us swerve right into the main topic for today. Because again, another TikToker, I'm going to have to put his name in the description below as well, really put me on to something this week, and it's had me thinking. It's really had me thinking. So again, this whole conversation that we have every week, our time together, is us taking movies, TV shows, pop culture moments, and taking little nuggets of wisdom from the things that have happened in those movies, those TV shows, and that pop culture moment. So right now, I would like to discuss our queen, and I was going to say our queen and savior, but that's doing too much. I would like to discuss our queen, Beyoncé, and how low key, high key, I'm annoyed that I have to say it, but we low key, high key have to forgive Jay-Z. Oh, I know it leaves a little taste in my mouth, but hear me out. Hear me out. One, first and foremost, we are nowhere in near our queen and her business. We don't know how that relationship has been going, how it's went. We don't know the details. So it's I guess I have to grow up and realize it wasn't my business to be upset about anyways in the first place, first and foremost. Second, this TikToker put me on to the fact that if Jay-Z had not cheated on Beyoncé, follow me. If Jay-Z had not cheated on Beyoncé, then Beyoncé would not have filmed or created, let's say created. Beyoncé would not have created Lemonade. If Beyoncé had not created the album that is the masterpiece that is Lemonade, we would not have the song Daddy's Lessons. If we didn't have the song Daddy's Lessons, then Beyoncé would not have performed the song Daddy's Lessons on the Country Music Awards with the Chicks. If Beyoncé had not performed Daddy's Lessons with the Chicks, then a whole bunch of country music people would not have had gone into a huge temper tantrum about her not being country enough, and pretty much a racist tantrum that ended up getting her performance wiped completely from all country music databases, right? And if that wouldn't have happened, Beyoncé wouldn't have got upset and left the Country Music Awards and went straight to the studio to start recording Cowboy Carter, which ultimately became Renaissance, which ultimately became Act 3. We would not have Renaissance, the Renaissance World Tour, the Renaissance movie, Cowboy Carter Tour, or Christmas Bowl if it were not for Jay-Z cheating. Oh my God. Oh my God. When you think about it, that was a horrible, horrible, horrible time in our queen's life, right? Jay-Z on 444 said, I apologize for the miscarriages with an S, right? Our girl was stressed. I saw another TikTok that with a gospel singer who was telling us how Jay-Z called her up and was like, my wife had locked herself in this room for 14 hours listening to your music, your voice over and over and over again. I need you to come over. Because when she came up out of that room, she was feeling better. You helped her. You did something. And I need you to come over and continue to help her for me, with me. And she ended up being on Everything Is Love, right? It sucks. It really does suck. But at the same time, what did we learn last year when we were reading Think and Grow Rich, Psycho-Cybernetics, A Happy Pocket Full of Money, The Power of Now? We learned that technically there is no such thing as failure. There is no such thing as a bad thing. In reality, things happen all the time, whether they are meant for good or meant for bad, but at the same time, it is supposed to happen. It is destined to happen as it has happened. And the best thing for us to do is just accept it and move along. Accept it and move along. What makes it bad, what makes it a failure is our reaction to it. But if we refuse to react and we just accept it as it is, as something that needed to happen and move on, we can find peace. We can find our purpose. We can focus more on what matters, right? And at the time I was reading that and all these books, because that's a concept that's in Think and Grow Rich, in Psycho-Cybernetics, and A Happy Pocket Full of Money, and The Power of Now. And I'm just now starting to understand what it means. It doesn't mean you have to be happy all the time, go lucky. No, it doesn't mean that if your husband cheats on you, you just move on and say, okay, that's fine. No, that's not what it means. It means that it's not something that has to rule you and your future, right? It's not something that has to completely devastate you. If we recognize that everything that happens for a reason, and it is all part of the plan, and there are things that we can learn and we can grow or create from it, then it takes away the sting and allows us to focus in more on what it is we do next with this situation, with this information. So we don't have to be happy-go-lucky all the time. And of course, things are going to happen that are going to make us feel negative feelings. And that is okay. It is okay to not be okay all the time. That is completely and totally fine. But staying sad, staying angry, staying depressed, there is a problem with that. And using this concept can help us slowly over time start to recognize that these things needed to happen and move through them quicker. Mm. 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 That's deep. That's deep. That's real deep. That is real deep. But I mean, the book I'm reading now is The Subtle Art of How to Not Give a And again, it's the same concept. It doesn't mean that you don't care about anything at all. No, nothing at all. It just means that you pick and choose what's important for you. And those things that you are picking and choosing are things that are going to help you move forward through life, no matter what happens to you or around you. And you're moving forward, not ignoring the things, but using the things and adding them to your repertoire as power, as purpose, flipping them, alchemizing them into something good. And that is what Beyoncé did. She took her pain, she poured it into lemonade, which helped millions of women around the world, helped me as a Black woman see myself as something of beauty, as something of power, right? And then because of that, chain reaction, chain reaction, chain reaction, we have Renaissance, the album, which we needed after COVID. It's something that we desperately needed to help us let go of the pain, of the stress, of the worry that the whole world was bleeding into us, that we were bleeding into ourselves, that our family, that our friends were bleeding into because people were struggling. And it liberated us. The Renaissance World Tour, I only got to go to that tour twice, but it changed my life. The energy in that stadium, both of those stadiums in LA and Vegas, just, I can't explain it, but I just felt powerful. I felt like I was loved. I felt like there was absolutely nothing that I could not do. And I felt like everybody in the stadium at the time felt that together, and together we were just ascended. I can't describe it any other way. Cowboy Carter was the same way. I went to the Cowboy Carter show 6 times, all 5 of the LA shows and the last show in Vegas. And it wasn't as much as so as I felt it at Renaissance, but Cowboy Carter allowed me to let go of my fear, my worry, my stress over the current administration and the current events happening in the world. It allowed me to let it go. It empowered me. And now I know that as long as I focus on me, my purpose, and my community, and that's all that I can control. As long as I focus on what I can control and do my best to be a light to the people around me, none of the other stuff needs to affect me as negatively as it was. And we wouldn't have had those monumental masterpieces if it wasn't for the pain. It's crazy to think about. It's upsetting. It's annoying to think about, but at the same time, it tracks. It tracks. And when I think about myself, because I always like to give you all a similar story in my own life, a real life application of what we're talking about. When I think about my own life, it tracks. It absolutely tracks. I waited until the absolute last millisecond to start finding housing for myself after I graduated from Chapman University. I graduated, and then after graduation, I had a week to find a place to go. And I was so busy, so stressed out because I was a triple major. So I had all of my senior projects for all three majors on top of being my younger brother Leland's legal guardian, right? I was a parent, right? On top of being the social chair for Black Student Union and hosting the first ever Black graduation at Chapman University. And that came with its own slew of issues with people, trying to figure out why we're having this, people being upset about it, other people being like curious about having their own for other groups, marginalized groups. All of this happening at the same time. I just looking for a house was like, it was the last thing on top of graduation, right? And so graduation happened, family left, classes done, jobs done. Now I'm just like, oh, wow, well, I got a week to find a place to live. And I Googled and I found this nonprofit called SPIN, Serving People in Need. And it just so happens that I reached out to them at the perfect time because they were getting ready to, something was happening with the grant that they had and they needed to use it or they were going to lose it, right? And so they were like, oh yeah, we'll take you and your brother on. You still have to find a house, an apartment. I went and found a list of low income housing in the area, found this apartment on that list. And I remember looking at this daunting list because remember, low income housing is great and all, but majority of the time there's 6, 12, 18-month waiting lists. And the more and more I'm like looking at this daunting list, I'm stressed out and I'm mad and I'm upset at myself because Jasmine, why did you wait so long to find housing? This is crazy. You have a week to figure this out. So I'm calling and I'm calling and I'm calling and I'm calling. And I found this apartment. They picked up the phone, they answered, and they did have a low income option available. And I was like, okay, great, bet. $963 a month in California, that's a crappy ass apartment. But you know what? I'll deal with it. I'll deal with it the best that I can, right? Me and my brother hop on the bus, head on over. Next thing you know, like looking around at the neighborhood. This is noise. Get off the bus. We walk. Oh wait, right here. Complex is looking nice. Flowers everywhere. Nice and quiet. We're walking around, looking at the pool area. Oh, this is low income. It was a luxury apartment complex that rented out very few, like 3 or 4 apartments for low income. And we got the last one. And when I say last one, I mean it was the last low income contract that they gave out ever. Again, no more. No more. And another thing that happened was the lease was only supposed to be a month-to-month lease. However, the person who wrote my lease wrote it as a fixed term lease. So the reason why they didn't accept any more low income contracts is because their grant that they were getting ran out halfway through our lease. And they told us that at the beginning, and they told us that once the grant runs out, we would have to pay the full amount, which was more than double what I was paying, right? However, because that lady messed up and she was going through whatever it is she was going through, I think she was new, and she was going through whatever it is she was going through at her time, she gave us a fixed term lease. So even though that's what we discussed at the beginning, because my lease said fixed, it could not be changed. A fixed term lease cannot be changed whatsoever. You can't try to switch it. You can't try to flip it. If it says 963 for this fixed term from this date to this date, it cannot be changed, period. And so because of her, we got our rent for $963 that whole entire year. And not only that, because of the time that I contacted Spin, and because they were at the end of their grant and they had to use it or lose it, usually Spin only pays your rent for you for 3 months, and then you have to pay it you have to take it on from the rest of that time. They paid our rent in full for 6 months. The rest of the year. And then I got my first job as an administrative assistant out of college and took over the payments after that. It was the timing. I was beating myself up, upset with myself, stressed out, sad, terrified that I had messed up because I had waited so long to find housing after I graduated, when in reality, I contacted not only that program Spin, but that apartment complex at the right time. If I had contacted them earlier, I probably wouldn't have gotten into Spin. If I had contacted that apartment earlier, when she hadn't even started yet, I probably would have gotten a lease that said month to month. And it all would have gone there. But somehow, some way, from graduation day until the end of my week, we had found ourselves in a luxury apartment complex paying 40% of what everybody else was paying. And with me having room to breathe. And while I, started my job hunt process, I couldn't have asked for a better situation. I couldn't have asked for a better situation in the long run. But at the time, was I stressed? Was I stressed? Was I stressed out? Absolutely. But now I know that everything happens the way it's supposed to. Everything happens for a reason. And while I may feel stressed, while I may want to beat myself up, while I may be angry or upset with myself, that's not something to focus on in this moment. Feel it, yes. Allow myself to feel it, sit in it, and then move on. I have all the cards in my hand. I have the cards I've been dealt. Now, how am I going to use them to move forward? Negative things are going to happen to you all the time. That's just life. It's not always going to be hunky-dory, but it is how you choose to move forward that is the most important. If Jay-Z hadn't cheated on Beyonce, we wouldn't have Renaissance, Cowboy Carter, or whatever Act 3 is going to be, which I know is going to be monumental as well. If I hadn't waited until the last moment to find housing, then I wouldn't have found myself in such a magnificent predicament. Everything happens the way it's supposed to happen. So this is what I want you to take from this when something negative happens to you. The next time something negative happens to you, feel the feelings. Feel them. It is okay. Feel the feelings. Sad. Sorry, sadness, frustration, anger, disappointment, depression. Feel those feelings. Sit in those feelings. Give yourself a set amount of time based on the severity of the situation to feel those feelings and not run from them, not bury them, feel them, face them head on. But when that timer is up, sometimes you just got to set a timer as well. When that timer is up, when that 20 minutes, 2 hours, or 2 days is up and done, you are done too. Take it, use it, and move forward. These are the cards you were dealt, but you still got to keep playing. Focus on what you can control. Focus on what is important for you to take your next step. And if those feelings tend to linger, that's when you reach out for help. Talk to a therapist. Talk to someone at your church. Start journaling. Talk to a trusted friend. Everything happens for a reason. You may not know the reason. You may not never figure out or find out the reason. But just know that it's all part of this intricate system of cosmos and universes and planes. And it's always gonna be okay. There is always a light at the end of the tunnel. There is always a way through. You will make it through. Okay? Alrighty, Your Majesty. So tell me, what are your goals for the week ahead? How do you plan on slaying the second full week of 2026? Tell me everything. Oh, that sounds amazing. That sounds perfect, Your Majesty. I cannot wait to talk to you next week and see just how you have slayed each and every single one of those goals. I cannot wait because you are someone who has proven time and time again that no matter what happens, no matter what anyone has to say, you are determined, you are focused, and you are powerful enough to make whatever it is you desire to happen, happen. That's who you are. So I can't wait to talk to you next week. For myself, I would like to find the time, because I deserve to find the time to read. To read. So I would like to finish that second book and at least read the third book in the series. Yes. I would like to, I have the Law of Attraction Planner here, and it has this whole section in the front where you come up with your mission statement, and you review your 2025, and you set your intentions, and your vision for 2026. I would like to finish the beginning part of my Law of Attraction Planner. And that's it, really. Those are my goals. Keeping it nice and 75 hard. Keep pushing. Keep doing that. Keep showing up for myself. Because the more and more you show up for yourself, the more confident you become. And not only yourself, but in your ability to reach your goals. So, yes. Continuing with my 2 a.m. wake ups to do a 2 a.m. workout. Oh! Yes. Well, that is everything for today, Your Majesty. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Those are my goals for the week. Those are your goals for the week. I really hope that this conversation has allowed you to really think about anything that you may be going through now, or anything that you've gone through in the past, and how this concept could have changed that outcome, and how it can help you in the future. I see you. I see the queen in you. You are magnificent. You are powerful. You are valuable. And your life has purpose. Always remember that, Your Majesty. I cannot wait to see you and talk to you same time, same place next year, or next week. I can never wait a whole year to speak to you. I can't wait to see how your week has gone. Same time, same place next week. Awesome, Your Majesty. Okay, have a great week. Mwah. Bye.